Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have a really big story coming out of the LCS. I usually only upload one video on Saturdays. We already had the one this morning, but I wanted to come back real quick and upload this video before LCS starts today because this is a big update surrounding Team Liquid and the Alphari situation scenario that continues to be ongoing. So obviously you guys can see that Team Liquid tweeted out Barney is back, and this was July 9th. This was yesterday. He ended up playing yesterday, but now things are still mixing up a little bit. You know, I and I'm sure a lot of other people expected to start seeing more of Alphari, and maybe they're just going to continue to ease him into this. But yeah, it seems like he is not just all the way back in. He is not just a full-time starter for Team Liquid. And I know a lot of people are going to be frustrated to hear that. A lot of people are going to be flaming Team Liquid, and I'm just kind of wondering what's going on. What is the plan? Why is this happening? Who's making these decisions? All of that stuff is stuff we can talk about in this video today. Definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and check out my Patreon if you want to get exclusive Patreon videos every single week. I would appreciate that so much. With that being said, here we go. So, Barney is back. That's very exciting. We have been waiting, seems like 4, 5, 6 weeks since he played in the very first game of the LCS Summer Split. It didn't go so hot. They lost to TSM. He was benched. Jack gets fired. All this craziness goes on. We hear about the drama behind the scenes. We hear about all the different rumors and speculation, trying to figure out what has been going on. But he was finally back. And again, this guy is very talented. One of the best players in the LCS. Not just one of the best top laners, one of the best players. And if the LCS wants to continue to grow as a league, we need Alphari playing. We need Alphari playing to make Team Liquid a better team. We need him playing to make the other top laners in the league better, to make the other teams in the league better, and ultimately to have a better chance at international tournaments. You cannot, if you are a league like the LCS that doesn't have very many top players already, you cannot take a really world-class caliber player, I do personally believe, in Alphari, and have him just sitting out. That cannot be a thing. It just makes no sense, especially for the amount of money that they're paying him and everything like that. But again, obviously, we finally got to see him back. We saw him back yesterday against Team Dignitas. I was actually at work for this game. I was trying to catch as much of it as I could, so I didn't get to see the whole thing. But I know it was kind of a back and forth crazy game where Dignitas had this Kassadin who was absolutely massive. I want to say that Yasui kind of threw the game away. I think he inted in for a death to kind of end it. But the cool thing here was seeing Alphari back. 3-1-8 game on the Gangplank. He was back to doing Alphari things. He had a really big CS lead in lane, just like Alphari always does. We know that that is his thing. He was able to generate a lead early. He was able to be pretty safe. He was able to be pretty consistent, do solid things for Team Liquid. And for a guy who has not played in the LCS in 4, 5, 6 weeks, I'm not exactly sure how many weeks it has been at this point, all things considered, he looked pretty damn good. And I only expect him to get better and better. And I really think we are going to see him regain that MVP form, you know, as the drama, as the craziness, as the stress of everything that was going on behind the scenes and in his personal life or whatever is going on, as that continues to subside and relax and calm down, he'll be able to focus more and more on his gameplay, and hopefully in the end, hopefully ultimately, this whole scenario will be a positive for Alphari, for Team Liquid, for the LCS, for North American fans, teams, orgs, everyone involved. Because I do think that sometimes taking a step back, getting to just kind of gather yourself, gather your thoughts, gather your mind, your mental, everything. The League of Legends season is a crazy, stressful, long, taxing season. Sometimes taking a break can be a very good thing, and I do hope in the end that this is a good thing for Alphari. Again, not even necessarily as like a Team Liquid fan or anything like that, just as a fan of the LCS who wants to see everyone doing well. I think it would be awesome if he can continue to just get stronger and stronger. But the big news coming out today, and why I wanted to make this video, is this tweet that came from Cold saying that Bob Jenkins LOL will be starting today against Immortals. Just when, you know, everyone kind of thought Alphari was going to be back. We were excited to see him play. We were excited to start seeing him ramping up. They have decided to bench him again today for Immortals. Now, they are saying that he will be back Sunday against Golden Guardians, but I think this is so weird, and I really do not like this decision. Yes, Jenkins has looked solid. He has looked fine for Team Liquid, but he is not the caliber player of Alphari. He does not have the potential ceiling of Alphari. He cannot take this team to the place that they need to be like potentially Alphari could, at least not in his current state. You know, maybe later on down the line, Jenkins is going to develop into some amazing, awesome player. He's very good right now. He is solid, but he is not Alphari. He is not world class. He is not MVP caliber. He is not what Team Liquid, he is not what the LCS need right now. And I think this is super weird. You know, obviously, just playing one game a weekend, that's not going to be that big of a deal. Alphari's still getting a lot of time in the LCS. They're still kind of getting ready and everything. But the big thing here is that they're trying to make a 6-man rotation work, splitting scrim time and splitting stage time. And that's going to be difficult to pull off. You know, we've seen people try this before, and I think it's going to be really, really weird. In the past, when we have seen teams do 6-man rosters, it's been because the players have been of similar caliber, or the players have had different strengths and weaknesses. But right now, is there any reason why I would want Jenkins to be playing over Alphari? Is there any chance that in the playoffs or come Worlds or anything like that, that you are legitimately going to be playing Jenkins over Alphari? I don't personally think so. I don't think there's any world, I don't think there's any meta, I don't think there's any team comps, any strategies, any patch where you are going to be playing Jenkins over Alphari in any kind of meaningful game. So if that is the case, which I believe it is, I would be shocked if it's not, why are we splitting scrim time? Why are we splitting stage time? Is it to let Jenkins continue to perform on a big stage, to maybe try and sell him off for some money? Is it because maybe they think Alphari is going to have more issues in the future, or they just want to have him just in case? I don't understand this. I know they had been talking about potentially a 6-man roster and how that was going to work or whatever, but I don't know. I never really bought into it, but it does seem like they are committing to this thing fully. And to me, it's very, very weird because, again, Team Liquid, we know, is a team that spends all this money, that creates all this hype, that has this huge fan base, that they say their goals are not just LCS titles. They've won however many, 4 LCS titles at this point. They want to go to Worlds. They want to do damage there. And to me, the only way that's going to happen is with Alphari in the top lane. And he's taken so much time off that he now needs to play some catch-up. He needs to get acclimated back to the LCS, back to pro play, back to this team. You know, he hasn't played much with Armeo. And who knows if Armeo or Santorin or whoever is going to be the jungler going forward into the playoffs, into Worlds. Ultimately, that's going to be the only thing that matters. So I am curious to see how this is going to work. Are they really going to keep having Jenkins play in scrims and every single weekend? At some point, is Alphari going to take this over and become the full-time starter? Why would they want to try and make a 6-man roster work? I really don't understand, unless Alphari is telling them, like, hey, I'm still having some issues going on, I can't commit fully, at which that point, I would say continue taking time off. This really just makes no sense to me, and I think it's not going to make a lot of sense to a lot of fans either. Obviously, Liquid has a decently easy schedule this week. They are playing against Immortals, which should be a very winnable game with anyone, like whoever their top laner is. Tomorrow, they're back against Golden Guardians, who they just beat 100 Thieves with Licorice up in the top lane. That'll be an interesting little matchup for Alphari to come back into. But yeah, going forward, they're obviously going to have some big games. CLG next week on the roster. They have a big game with 100 Thieves next Saturday, so it'll be interesting to see who's going to play in that one. And then TSM. So, I mean, obviously, the regular season games aren't going to matter too much, but I do think that Alphari needs more time. I think he needs as much stage time as possible. I think he needs as much scrim time as possible so he can really be in his best form come playoffs, come Worlds, because I don't think it ever makes sense to take your MVP caliber top laner and have him splitting time with Jenkins. So I think this is really, really weird. I think fans are going to be critical of this, and I think that is rightfully so. But I just want to give you guys that update that Alphari will not be playing today, but he will be back tomorrow. And I don't really understand this. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you understand the 6-man roster? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. Remember to check out my Patreon if you want more exclusive content and videos every single week. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!